This is sections 3.4 and 3.5. This is part 6. We've been writing equations of lines that meet certain conditions. And we have said that if you're not given a slope, you will be given enough information to find the slope. All right, we want to find the equation of the line that meets the following conditions and write answers in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I want to find the equation of the line that goes through the point 4, 1, but is parallel to 2x plus 5y equals 10. Now we need a slope to get this done, so we have to remember what parallel lines tell us about slopes. If we have lines that are parallel, they have the same slope. So if I can find the slope of this line that I want to be parallel to, I can use the same slope over here and get the equation of the line I want. So let's solve this equation for y so we can read off its slope. Let's subtract 2x from both sides. 5y is equal to negative 2x plus 10. Now divide everything by 5. And we get y equals negative 2/5 x plus 10 divided by 5 is 2. Our slope is right here. And I want them to be parallel, so I'm going to use this slope with this point to get the equation of the line I'm looking for. Okay, so I have a slope, I have a point. I'm going to use the point slope formula. Point slope. So I have y minus y1, and y1 is 1, is equal to the slope, and we're using negative 2/5, times x minus x1, so x minus 4. Now I need to distribute the negative 2/5, and this is 4 over 1. So I have y minus 1 is equal to negative 2/5 x. I have a negative times a negative, so it's going to be positive. Now let's look at what this means. This is 2/5, I've already dealt with the sign, times 4 over 1. This does not simplify at all, so you multiply straight across to get 8/5. So it's 2 negatives, and it gives me a positive 8/5. Now I'm supposed to go into slope-intercept form, which means I need to solve this for y. So I need to add 1 to both sides. And I get y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 1 plus 8/5. We need a common denominator, and I can write this as 1 over 1. My LCD is going to be 5. So I need to write this as something over 5 plus 8 over 5. Well, I multiplied the 1 by 5 to get 5, so I'll multiply the top and the bottom by 5. Get 5 plus 5, 5 over 5 plus 8 over 5. 5 plus 8 is 13, and I get 13/5. And this is the solution we are looking for. Okay, now for a similar problem, we want to find the equation of the line that passes through this point, but we want it to be perpendicular this time instead of parallel. Our approach is basically the same. I need to find the slope of this line, and then I'll use it here. I'll use what I know about slopes of perpendicular lines, I should say. Let's get y by itself. I need to move the 5x over to the right, so I'm subtracting 5x from both sides. I get 2y is equal to negative 5x plus 18. Now let's divide everything by a 2. And I get y is equal to negative 5/2 x. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So the slope of this line is negative 5/2. Okay, the last problem we worked, we wanted them to be parallel, so we used the same slope. This time we want them to be perpendicular, and so we have to remember what we mean by perpendicular slopes. We know that if two lines are perpendicular, their slopes have opposite signs and are reciprocals. So since I want it to be perpendicular, I'm going to use slope of, it's going to be positive because that's negative, and I flip it over. So I'm going to use 2/5 because it is perpendicular. Now let's use the same formula we did before. Y minus y1, y minus a -7 equals our slope, 2/5, times x minus x1, which is x minus 2. This minus a -7 is y plus 7. Let's distribute the 2/5. That's 2/1. We can multiply straight across. 2/5 times x, I can't forget that part, minus, now multiply straight across. 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 1 is 5. Now, what we need to do is we need to get this 7 over to here. So subtract 7 from both sides. I get y is equal to 2/5 x, and then I need to do, it's going to be minus because I'm subtracting two negatives. And I want to find, remember when you're adding or subtracting, you add the absolute values if they have the same sign. So I need to do 4/5 plus 7/1. I already know my answer is negative, it's taken care of here. My LCD is going to be 5. So I need to write each of these with a 5 in the bottom. The first one is already good. From here to here, I multiplied by a 5, so I multiply by 5 here as well. 7 times 5 is 35. Now add across the top, 4 plus 35 is 39 fifths. So this is minus 39 fifths, and you have your answer.